Quick update on our tomato tunnel. So this is for the vegetable farm. We do about between 600 and 1,000 tomato plants every year. And this tunnel has about 400 in here. So sometimes it'll be 1,200. We'll just do 2 full tunnels. Or 3 full tunnels, sorry. So the way I do it is we've got 5 beds, and these are like deeply broad forked. I put a single cut on the sides, so that could be radishes. In this case, it's all lettuce. This is for mesclun mix, so they're planted really dense. And we'll cut that like 2 or 3 times, and then once they're done, we don't plant anything else. It's just tomatoes, and it's a lot of space. You could get a lot more, but this turns into a wall of tomatoes that goes all the way up there. And maybe if I was really sophisticated, I could get something else harvest under there, but it just takes a lot of space to do all the harvesting and the pruning, and because there's so many movements and so much repetition, you really want that to be very efficient, so we sort of maximize for that. But it always feels too crazy to not get any other crop out of the space, so we end up just doing some other crop in the spring. And what we do is we use the tomato hooks up there, and we've got one string going off to one side, one string going off to the other side, alternating tomato plants. So you get a little bit more density of plants, and you get the canopy gets enough space. Wow, this is crazy. This peach, I've just never seen anything like this. I'm gonna have to really thin this out because it's already taking a lot of weight on it. I just put these peaches on the north end because I didn't think they'd take up a lot of space, but they are now. In fact, we're losing actually it's kind of starting to be significant. I usually probably have about 4 more plants on each, so that's like 20 more tomato plants. Each plant yields over the season about 25 pounds of tomatoes. So, it's starting to be a lot of tomatoes. Anyway, we broad forked the beds, fertilized with some chicken manure. I put that down before I broad fork, so it sort of falls into the cracks as you broad fork, and then rake the top. So it looks like we didn't do anything, but you got nice deep tillage with fertility falling in there. And I normally don't use a sprinkler in here, but every season I like to start it off by flushing the whole system from last year. So we sprinkle it for quite a while. And I don't use that heater anymore. We used to, and now I've figured, I'd rather just plant a little bit later in here and not have to worry about it as much. And I just honestly, I don't think that the extra couple weeks of harvest that we get is even worth the fuel. Maybe financially it is a little bit, but I don't like it. So we're not using it anymore. It's really windy. Very weird day. These little plants, I don't like to see them get blown around that much. So close that a little bit. What else I wanted to say? So we're gonna put drip tape in very soon. I usually like to try to do that first, but it's not a big deal to do it with 2 people. You just set up a ladder and have a reel of tape and then pull it out. Put it on the ground kind of next to either row, because the tomatoes, the thing that they end up not ever having enough of when you do them at this density is potassium. So we have potassium sulfate that we fertilize them with once they get into fruiting, because I don't care what soil you have and what biology you have, when you plant tomatoes, on 18-inch or 12-inch spacing, and you're getting full like fruiting potential, you're just gonna run out of potassium. If someone does, can prove me wrong on that, I'd love to see it and copy whatever they do, but I've never seen it. So anyway, and then on the sides, this fits 7 beds, so on the sides I'm putting zucchini over there, which is looking haggard. I gotta irrigate, and some bok choy, and I'll do another planting of zucchini on the other side with some chard. So we've got our greens, and then we've got our short fruiting crops, the zucchini, and then we've got our full season fruiting crops, the tomatoes. And that's the sweet spot for me in terms of having multiple yields and space efficiency, but also commercial level production efficiency. When this thing is full of tomatoes, there isn't room for anything else. So we just try to get a little bit of yield while there's still space in here, and then after that, just tomatoes.